Good morning, good morning, good morning. The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, and you are breathing. Today is Monday, June the 3rd, 2024, and I would like to welcome you all to This is Just a Thought with Stephen Corner Gay. Hope everyone has enjoyed, or did enjoy, I should say, did enjoy their weekend. Man, went by fast, went by fast. And here we are back to Monday again. Back to work we go, back to work we go. Well, nevertheless, I hope everyone enjoyed their weekend. I sure did. I got a chance to sit out and get some good old country air and sun. Much needed and much welcome. So, hey, if you didn't do that, or perhaps you did some yard work, or you got out and about of town, whatever the case may be, I hope you enjoyed your weekend. Just hate to see it in, but bills need to be paid, mouths need to be fed, and a roof needs to be maintained over our heads. So we do what we have to do. We just do. Hey, before I go any further, hit that like and subscribe button along with that bell icon to get notified when I drop these podcasts. Keep you in the loop. Hey, and also get in that comment section. Let me know what you guys think. Like I always say, whether yay or nay. Do you like the conversation, the topics I'm talking about? Or is it a bust? Whatever the case may be, I won't bite. I won't bite at all. Much welcome. Constructive criticism is needed. Just is. All right. Today's word of the day, peach, which means to inform against or to turn informer. Peach. Never heard that word right there, or I never heard that definition. I got to be honest with you. You're either an informer or a snitch. So, hey, you learn something new every day in this world. You just do. So now you can start calling those people you know that tell every damn thing a peach. Hey, it is what it is. It's going to be what it's going to be. Man, weather here in North Carolina, like I just told you guys, it was a lovely, lovely, lovely weekend. It wasn't too hot, wasn't too cold. It was just right. And the end of May ended beautifully. And that may have been the quiet before the storm. Temperatures here today are up in the upper 80s to 90s, but they're saying by the end of the week, we are going to be well above the 90s. And like I said, this is June. It's June the 3rd. I'm sorry, June the 3rd. So we all know what happens here in North Carolina, pretty much like everywhere throughout the Southeast. When June hits, the bottom falls out, or should I say, the roof explodes because the temps are going to rise, and then with those temperatures rising, along comes the heat index. Favorite time of the year for some. Not so much for me. I do like the summer. I just do. Just like I told you guys last podcast, I enjoy June. There's something about it. But when that heat starts to come, that's when things just turn all the way off for me. I could do without it. I could do without that heat and that heat index. Maybe I could live with the heat, but the heat index, wow. But wherever the case may be, hey, this is the summer. This is this summer. Well, wait a minute. I take that back. It isn't the summer just yet. It hasn't officially started. But when those temperatures get to rising, you might as well go and call it what it is, the summer. It might as well. There's no way around it. All right, let's move along here, man. Hey, the NBA Finals are set. The finals have finally been set. The Boston Celtics are going to be playing the Dallas Mavericks. Last Thursday evening, Dallas beat the Minnesota Timberwolves 124 to 108. Timberwolves just ran out of gas, looks like. Man. Kyrie Irving and Luka, what more can you say? They put on a clinic. They had led by as many as 20 some odd points at one point in time. Minnesota would try to get a little run going, but they quickly quashed that. And it was a clinic. Let's just say that. Dallas put on a clinic. And they had a host of supporting stars also. It wasn't just Kyrie Irving and Luka. They have an excellent squad. Now, who's going to win this finals? Who knows? My money's, truthfully, honestly, it's with Dallas. I just think they're the better squad. I think they're the better team. I think they're more poised. I think they are just set to take it all. Not to slight Boston. They do have a good squad with Tatum and Brown. And they got a few, they got one or two other guys that can come off the bench and do some good work. But I just don't think they're ready for Dallas. That's just me. I know there are some Boston fans out there that are probably going to give me an earful. But I just don't see you guys winning it all. My money's on Dallas. Side note, what a difference a year makes for Kyrie Irving. He had caught flack last year and the year before, and during COVID, he refused to take the vaccine. They were saying, oh my Lord, what is he thinking? How could he act that way? How could he think like that? Then, of course, the controversial statements he made about the slave trade and the Jewish community as far as the Jews participating in the slave trade. I believe it was something about them building ships. And at that point in time, when all of that was going on, there were many, many, many folks in the NBA community and the community as a whole, just regular citizens, they began the bashing of Kyrie and how stupid he was. He was dumb. How could he think like that? It wasn't just as it relates to the COVID vaccine and his refusal to take the vaccine. It was also because of those, like I said, controversial statements he made about the slave trade in the Jewish community. They called him anti-Semitic. They said he was ignorant. He was dumb, stupid. He was a distraction to the Brooklyn Nets. At that time, he was on the Brooklyn Nets squad. They said he was a distraction in the locker room. Commentators got on the TV and said, why are we wasting our time with this dummy? You guys remember Sir Charles Barkley. The commentators chimed in also and said, how could he be so foolish? Well, what a difference a year makes, because now, and when he was traded off to the Dallas Mavericks, they were saying, he's going to get there and flop and flounder and fail. What a difference a year makes. Guy's on his way to the NBA Finals, and it quite possibly could be one of the best NBA Finals we've seen in a long while. And he is a member of a team that many are saying quite possibly could be the best backcourt in NBA history. Or one of the best, I should say. That him and Luka, they could be one of the best backcourts in NBA history. Well, what do you know? That big mouth fool is on his way to the NBA championship. I often say this, and I hate to beat a dead horse here, but me personally, myself, and I'm always out on that proverbial limb. I am just irritated and so sick and disgusted with the mindset that when someone makes a comment of something, a belief or a theory they have, we start the bashing because we don't agree with them, or we don't care to hear it, or it makes someone or another group of people or personnel look negative. So we automatically bash them, call them dumb, stupid, ignorant, racist, anti-Semitic, whatever the case may be, and that's black or white for me. I don't care. It's black or white. Whenever an individual, whether male or female, gay or straight, whatever, what have you, black or white, Christian, non-Christian, whatever, whenever they make a statement of something they believe, or they're given just a thought, no pun intended, just a thought, everyone as a whole starts to bash them and just rake them over the coals. I gotta ask, and I gotta say, what kind of society have we become where we can't even just voice our opinions because it's not popular, it's wrong, and you're a hateful person? Now, he was just, if you have to remember, unless you were up under a rock, you have to remember the hell that he caught when he made that statement about the Jewish community, or the Jews being involved in the slave trade, and as far as the making of the ships or whatever, what have you, and people immediately came out. How could you say that? How could you think like that? There's no proof. There is proof. There is proof. There is proof. How could you say that? They weren't. They're yada 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 rah 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 shish boom ba. I dare you. And just like I said then, I asked the question or made the statement that when that came out, my whole thing was, okay, if they were involved in the slave trade and they were those that were making the ships, so what? Wasn't everyone in that business to make money? They did something. It could be for those that made the ships. It could be for those that made the chains and the shackles. It could be for those that made the sails. It could be any and everything at that point in time, at that moment in history. That was the business. Everyone participated in it in somehow, some way. It wasn't just going over to Africa and capturing the slaves and the Africans and bringing them back or taking them somewhere. Everyone was participating in that slave trade. It was a big business. It was profitable. It just was. So he stumbled on some literature and he formulated a thought. How about that? An independent thinker in this day and age. See what that'll get you. But yeah, how about that? He was he was bashed, ridiculed, scorned, traded away, cast aside, and now he's on his way to the NBA Finals as a member of a squad that quite possibly could be the best or one of the best in NBA history, because they put some points up on the board and they will shoot your lights out. So we'll see what happens. The first game starts this Thursday, and we'll see what happens with this. So it looks like like I said, I'm going. My money's on the Dallas Mavericks. Just is. All right, let's move along here, man. Hey, last Friday, a lot of stuff happened. This makes about the second or third Friday in a row I've gotten off work, and I turn on the TV, and there's some breaking news, big breaking news. Because once again, unless you've been up on a rock, you know by now, surely, that last Friday, former President Donald Trump was found guilty in a Manhattan court on 34 counts for his payments to a former adult porn star to keep her quiet about their affair. So he's been found guilty. I believe he's supposed to get his sentencing sometime next month, and this happens right on the heels of the presidential debate that's coming up this month, and also the GOP National Convention, which he is expected wholeheartedly, flat out, to receive the nomination for president of the United States for the Republican Party. Wow, certainly has a lot going on. But they found him guilty on all 34 counts. So I guess it's fraud. Apparently, he moved some monies around to pay her to keep quiet. And they're saying that money that he moved around was campaign money. Can't do that. That's a big no-no. Of course, he said, hey, that was from my private account. But they went back and they said they found evidence. Apparently, a jury believed him and he was convicted. So he'll get his sentencing sometime next month. And of course, they're asking, can he run for president if he's a convicted felon? And the answer is yes. I didn't think he could. I didn't think anyone could run for an office if they're a convicted felon. And he has been convicted. He has been found guilty. So apparently you can run for president or any political office if you have a felon. I really got to dive into that and look into that. I'm sure there's got to be There's got to be some little area with this. I just can't see having a felon holding a political office. Maybe that's me. Everyone does deserve a second chance. But I don't know about that. Not occupying the highest office in the land. I don't know about that. But hey, it is what it is. It's going to be what it's going to be. Can't wait to see that debate that's coming this month between him and President Joe Biden. I can rest assured, and I feel extremely easy when I say this, that's going to be a main talking point during that debate. Yeah, you bet your bottom dollar. I mean, I'm not a cutthroat type of guy, but when you've given me something like that, I'll use it to attack you. Why wouldn't I? Trump would. Many may say turnabout's fair play. We'll see what happens. We will see what happens with this. Very interesting. Like I told you guys some months ago, this presidential race is going to be one for the record books. It is going down in history. So much has happened this past 4 or 8 years, 12 years, that our kids, kids are going to be studying about this in history. And many historians are going to be still studying about it too, sometime down the line. This has never happened before. We've never had a presidential candidate or former president convicted of anything. Just haven't. I don't think. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I need to research that also. But I just don't think we've ever had. No, we haven't. The closest we got was what? Richard Nixon, but he resigned. He stepped aside. He let it go. He knew there was no way in the world he could win. But the ever-defiant President Trump, former President Trump says, hey, I'm still going to run no matter what. This witch hunt is not going to deter me from getting back in office. Wow. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. I'll keep you guys updated on that. I just will. Very interesting time in American history. Just is. We'll see what happens. We will see what happens. All right. Let's go. Get it. Man. Like I told you guys at the beginning, today is June 3rd. And if you listen to the last podcast I put out right before the end of last month, June is Men's Health Month. I got to get my blue ribbon. I got to get me a blue ribbon. Like many recognition or many health awareness or cultural awareness events, the color for Men's Health Month is blue. So I got to get me a blue ribbon. I really do. And this, I decided to start off with something near and dear to my heart. No pun intended. Hypertension. Or for us old common folks, high blood pressure. We all know about it. We all know about it. And you know, and how many times in life have we heard the expression, hey, calm down, or I'm not going to let these fools raise my blood pressure. I know I've said that numerous times. And it can happen. Life events, poor health, bad eating habits, lack of physical activity, or just stress can bring about hypertension. Now, apparently, what they're saying is approximately 85 million Americans, or about 1 out of 3 black men, have hypertension. Wow, that is that's it's not mind-boggling. But it is extremely alarming because we've been seeing these numbers increase year by year by year by year as it relates to not just regular Americans, but more specifically, black men. And also on the rise, not too far behind, are black women. Now, if you're saying to yourself, well, you know, high blood pressure, what can happen? What are the complications? Of course, stroke, heart attack, or even death. And now they're saying it could be linked to dementia, which is, of course, the start of Alzheimer's. Wow. There's so much that hypertension or high blood pressure, how it affects your body on a day-to-day scale. Like I told you guys, when I went to the doctor a month or so ago, I knew I had high blood pressure, but I was feeling fine. There was no indication whatsoever to me physically that my blood pressure was high. And when I got when they took my blood pressure and I was looking and thinking, and I looked over and I saw it, and then she told me, and then she said, well, I'll take it again. She took it again and it got higher. I said, Lord have mercy. It was like, it was 3 digits top, and the bottom was like 4 digits off from being 3 digits. That's 3 digits top and bottom for blood pressure. That is beyond a red flag. That's a red tarp over your life, over you, your person. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, well, wait a minute. I had no indication. Usually when my blood pressure was high, I would get a headache. I would be sweating. My heart would be racing. But this go around here, I got no warnings, no indications whatsoever. And now I realize why they call high blood pressure, hypertension, the silent killer. I wholeheartly understand now. And I was thinking to myself, and I've thought to myself after that, now my blood pressure is normal. And now I'm thinking to myself, how long was I going about like that? Because when you start to, when you have high blood pressure and your blood pressure is high and it's going on for a while, it can lead to so many internal organ problems, kidney failure, heart disease or heart attack or stroke or brain damage. And now we know dementia. So I'm thinking to myself, man, how long has my body been like this? And I wasn't aware. Honestly, I can tell you, I probably did feel some ailments and pain or whatever, what have you. But like most men, we will ignore it. And that's another thing we have to stop doing. We have to stop ignoring these when our body tells us a tale, we have to stop ignoring it. And I'm not going to stand on a soapbox and browbeat and point my finger and look down at you or look over the rim of my glasses, because I'm that fool also who will ignore body pains, aches, twitches. Just will. I'll ignore it. Or I used to. Until I got that sobering, alarming wake-up call with my blood pressure about a month or so ago. I changed. It changed me. And you're saying, well, how did it change you? Honestly, truthfully, it scared the hell out of me. It just did. For my blood pressure to be 3 digits top and bottom like that, and I have a family history of high blood pressure, diabetes, heart disease, whatever. When I say family history, mother, aunts, uncles, you just run the list. So I know better. And I know better because I have experienced that. Now, another number that came out as of May 24th of this year, and this is how just if you're saying to yourself, when I gave you the number before about, what was that, 55 million or 85 million Americans have high blood pressure, with what that's about like 1 out of 3 black men or 3 adults have high blood pressure. The percentage for that as of May 24th this year, last month, is 55% of black adults have high blood pressure or hypertension. 55%, that's over half of our population. High blood pressure. Some of the factors they're saying that goes into this, or could be genetic factors. High rates of high blood pressure in black people may be due to the genetic makeup of people of African descent. Researchers have discovered some facts In fact, they're saying in the U.S., black people respond differently to high blood pressure drugs than do other groups of people. African Americans also seem to be more sensitive to salt intake. I'm bad with that. Bag of chips. I've gotten better. I slacked off of those chips. Salt intake. That's a major component of having high blood pressure also. It increases your risk. Quick snack at work. Gotta get a bag of chips and some water. Ties me over to whatever. Gotta find a better snack, a healthier snack. Perhaps fruit. Many folks don't like eating fruit like that, or fruit and vegetables, carrot or celery. I cringe, but I got to start doing it. If I want to continue to be around and walk amongst the living, I got to change my eating habits. I got to cut some crap out. There's no way in the world I can continue at 50. And that's another factor. What they're saying is one of the contributing factors is age and increasing age. Increasing age, increasing lack of physical activity. Yeah. Yeah, I see it. I do. I do. I see it. We got to stop coming home and just flopping on the couch, looking at TV, or coming home, sitting down, scrolling through our phones, our timeline on our different multiple social media pages. Got to get up and get active. The average, what they're saying is for physical activity. You ain't got to go and lift the gym, or you ain't got to go and run a marathon, but you got to do something. You got to be physically active on a consistent basis for, if you're starting out, a minimum of 15 minutes to 30 minutes. Then you can increase it to 45 minutes. So anywhere from 15 to 30 to 45 minutes, if not every day, every other day, at least 3 times a week, we need to be physically active. We need to be up doing something, getting our blood pumping. Just do. There are no lies detected, no lies told. It's a fact of life. You know, many a times when I was and that's the main thing for me. Yeah, our eating habits, our genetic makeup, but that's the main thing for me is physical inactivity. Because I can remember when I was a kid, old guys, they were still active. They were still out. They were at the basketball courts. They were at the tennis courts. They were at a track. They were out doing something. Or they could even be out in the yard working. They were out doing something. They didn't just get off work and just come and flop down on the couch and do nothing, unlike my generation. There's a few of us out there that, for my generation, that are still active. I salute you. I really do. And I'm going to get back out there and join you. But for the most part, truthfully, honestly, we're not physically active like we used to be, or like our parents or grandparents. We just aren't. And our bodies are telling the tale. High blood pressure, the diabetes, heart conditions, kidney problems. You run the list. Yeah, it's all linked to hypertension, but those are other ailments that come about as a result of no physical activity, inactive. Now, the article goes on to talk about the environmental factors. Some scientists believe that high blood pressure in Black people is due to things unique to the experience of African Americans. Black people worldwide have rates of high blood pressure that are similar to that of white people, but in the U.S., it's a dramatic difference. At that time, they were saying 41% of African Americans have high blood pressure as compared to 27% of white Americans. Now we know it to be 55%. Wow. The environmental factors it goes on to say are more likely, we're more likely to be overweight. Yeah, I lost a little bit of weight, but I got a whole lot more to lose. Black Americans here in the United States are more likely to be overweight than other people in other countries. Inactive. Some experts even think the social and economic factors, including discrimination and economic inequalities, are responsible for this difference. Stress. I ain't making this up. And I can tell you, I lived it. Just about any and everything I just said to you as it relates to physically inactivity, the diet, salt, the environmental factors, economic and discrimination, stress. As a 50-year-old black male or African American male, however you want to word it, I see it. I know it. I live it. So what do we do as black men to curb these numbers and get our health back? Stop stressing about stuff. Stop stressing about things you can't control. It took me a long time to realize that saying. I thought it was just something folks said. Ain't nothing you gonna do by stressing about what you can't change. All you can do is handle what's before you, what you can handle. And if you can't handle it, oh well, you can put it on the back burner. I know they say that's a bad thing to put your problems behind you, but if it's affecting your health, put it behind you. Move on. Move on to the next problem if you like. Maybe that's a little bit more feasible to correct. But don't sit there and horn in and just focus on the thing that you know in your heart of hearts, in your mind, deep recesses of your bowel, you can't control, you can't fix. Let it go. I had to learn that the hard way too. Get up and get out and get active, physically doing something for 15 to 30 minutes a day or every other day, at least 3 times a week. Hell, you can just be sitting, and when you're sitting there looking at the TV, get up, do some stretches, do some push-ups, sit-ups, and by all means, get your family involved. Teach your kids to be and remain physically active. That's another thing that we have to do. Because our kids, the obesity rate for kids in the United States with African Americans and Hispanics, those numbers have risen. There was a report that came out that said the numbers have risen so much after COVID that it's a huge red flag. We knew that coming out of COVID also. We knew that was going to happen. But back to this hypertension for us as black men, yeah, we have to start getting physically active. Change our diet. Put down the salt. Put down the chips. And get you some fruit. Okay. Like I've said in the past, I just don't want to be that dude, that guy, that at some point in time in my life, I'm happening along and then the bottom falls out. When I say the bottom falls out to the point where either one of several things, I go to the doctor and they tell me, hey, look, unfortunately, sad to say, there's nothing we can do for you. All they can do for me is try to make me as comfortable as possible and pray for me because of my lack of changing my lifestyle choices. Don't want to be that guy. Don't want to be that dude. There's a lot with 55% of the black population having high blood pressure. That's a lot of family members that are going to be left here when you have expired. That's a lot of sons, a lot of daughters, a lot of wives, a lot of aunts, uncles, whatever, what have you, that lives you have affected, and they're so used to seeing you around, whether you think they respect you or not. I know a lot of us as men, we get this mindset and we get this rap and we have this thing where we say to ourselves, they don't care whether I'm here or there or whatever. Trust me, when you're gone permanently, I've seen it firsthand. When you're gone permanently and they know that you're not there and you're not coming back because of a health issue, you're needed. And that's the only way I can put it. You need it where you think you are or you're not. You're needed whether They treat you as though you are or you're not. Trust me, you're needed. Don't be around. Don't be around and no prospects of you coming back and see how folks change their tune. I don't want to be that dude. Like I said, I'm not trying to be that dude that waits till the last minute, ignores things, and continues an unhealthy lifestyle, and then all of a sudden, whammo, it's over. I don't want to be that dude. So I got to start making some changes myself. Hey, I'm not sitting up here standing on this soapbox browbeating you for any reason. If anything, while I'm doing these podcasts for Men's Health Month, and I've been doing it, like I said, sometime this month in June, it's going to be 4 years. When I first started, one of my original podcasts was, of course, about Men's Health Month. And I don't want to be that dude, and I don't want to stand up here and browbeat you, and if I'm not doing the same thing. Because that's the reason. That's part of the reason why I'm doing it. I'm preaching to myself. I say it to myself daily. Hey, man, change your life. Change what you're doing. If I see myself going towards something or gravitating towards something I know I'm not supposed to do, hey, fool, what you doing? You really want to be that dude that leaves your kids behind and all you had to do was change your lifestyle, your eating habits, get physically active, cut back or stop the smoking, beer drinking, because that's another thing they're saying is a contributing factor. Also, smoking and alcohol consumption. Yeah, that's a contributing factor for a lot of diseases and ailments in this country, in this world. Just is. Like I told you guys earlier, some of the contributing factors: increased age, exercise, weight, a family history of high blood pressure, having diabetes, inactivity, lots of salt and fat in your diet. And this one I really didn't know. Like I said, you learn something every day if you're open to learn. Not getting enough potassium. And of course, smoking and drinking. All of those I have at 50. Fortunate enough and blessed enough to still be around, and I hope the good Lord has given me time to correct it and change my lifestyle around, because I have to. I was raised in a family that would say oftentimes that if you're still breathing, you're 10 toes down, good Lord ain't called you home yet, he's probably waiting on you to change something. And you know you need to change. So there's some things I got to change. Not browbeating you guys. I ain't telling you guys to do anything that I wouldn't do. That I have to do, I should say. So yeah, I'm going to make some lifestyle changes. It's not going to happen overnight. So don't tear out the starting gate just yet and say, I'm going to do this, that, and try to starve yourself and turn into a damn vegetarian. Because it's not going to happen like that. You didn't get this way. I didn't get this way overnight, and you ain't going to change it. I'm not going to change it overnight. So don't fool yourself. And above all means, don't kill yourself trying to make your life a little better. It's a gradual change. You have to take baby steps. It's like I said, hey, find you a different snack. I had to find me a different snack. Start eating fruits. Getting physically active. Start small. While you're sitting there looking at TV, do some stretches. Do some push-ups, sit-ups. Do something. It just do. And another thing that I really wanted to horn in and talk about before I go here, and it's probably the most important: routine doctor's visits, routine screenings. We don't do it as black men. I told you earlier, I was one of those that would ignore the pains and the aches and the twinges and the kicks and whatever, what have you. I had to learn the hard way to stop doing that. Stop ignoring your pains. Let go of the machismo. Let go of the mindset that no one cares or they're going to think black. Like I said, men, especially black men, we have that mindset. Well, hey, we haven't exactly had been treated as though we are. I won't say Superman, or Superman. We've been ignored a lot. Maybe there's some things we've done, or quite possibly, honestly, there's some things we've done in our past where folks will just pass us by, and we internalize that and say they don't care either way. Yeah, stop doing that. You're your own individual person. If you don't take care of yourself, ain't nobody else going to take care of you. So go to those doctor's visits, get those routine screenings, stay in that doctor's office. I said some time ago, if I could say this again, and I hope you guys understand what I'm saying, we as men need to take a page out of women's book. Women's books, they will stay in that doctor's office, and every visit they go to, they'll tell the doctor what they have going on, and they will communicate. This is another thing. This is probably one of the most important things right up under those doctor's visits. They will communicate with each other. You can hear them talking. Girl, I got this going on. Girl, my life. Yeah. They communicate with each other, and they'll tell each other and give each other advice. And eventually they'll end up at the doctor's office, and they're telling that doctor everything they have going on. And so they'll get theirs taken care of long before we even think about it as men. Take a page out of women's books. We need to start talking amongst each other. We need to start going to those doctor's visits. We need to start getting those routine screenings. Just like I told you guys 2 or 3 months ago, I went and got that colonoscopy. Me going to get the colonoscopy, when I talked to people about it, I found some that were saying, yeah, it's no problem, man. I did the exact same thing. And I found men that were older than me, never had a colonoscopy. Said there was no need for them to get it. What do you mean there's no need for you to get it? Don't you want to know? They didn't want to know. They don't do doctors. That's what I heard. I don't do doctors. Okay? You may not do doctors. But at some point in time, somewhere down the line, they're going to have to do you. And they might just have to be the ones to tell you that sad, sad news. It's too late. Let me try to make you as comfortable as possible and find someone to pray for you. I hate to put it out there like that, but that's the reality of it. When you blow these doctor's visits off, when you blow these routine screenings off, when you blow off the fact that you got something going on, when you blow off the fact that you need to get physically active, you need to change your lifestyle, your eating habits, the alcohol and smoking consumption, when you need to change all of these things and you do not, that is the end result. There ain't no magic pill to make you pop back to good health. Just like I told you, you didn't get that way overnight. You're not going to change it overnight. Take your time. Start small. Make some small changes in your life. Like I said, for me, I just don't want to be that dude. I have a total of 5 kids. 2 of them were adults, young adult males. I'm not ready to leave, and I would hope they wouldn't be. I just don't want to be that dude and have to face these kids and tell them, your old man fooled around for so many years, and now he's on his way up out of here. Don't want to be that dude. There's no way. I can't be that dude. I just can't. So if I could offer anyone any advice, you know what's going on with you. You don't need to hear these numbers. You don't need to hear these signs and wonders and ailments. And you know what's going on with you. Change it. If you're still 10 toes down, chances are you could correct it. So correct it. Ain't no magic pills. I know they're steady. I know there's great medical advances that they have these pills that can help you lose weight, and yada, 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 give you a shot, rah, rah, rah. Ain't no magic pill for something like this. It's about you just changing your way of living and thinking. Just is. Well, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go and skedaddle. Hey, get in that comment section. Let me know what you guys think about today's podcast. Whether it be from the NBA Finals to former President Trump, being convicted or found guilty, I should say, on 34 counts of fraud charges. Let me know what you guys think about that. Hey, get in that comment section. Let me know what you guys think about today's men's health topic, hypertension or high blood pressure. If by some strange coinky dink there's a female, or I do have several female followers, if you're following me, share this with your mate. Especially if you know he's not doing what he's supposed to do. I mean, if he's still one of those hardheads, tell him, hey, look at this guy right here. Look at this fool right here. He ignored and sideswept his health issues for so long, and now he finally realizes he's been a fool. It's time to change. Share this podcast with somebody. Just send it to them in a little text or send it to one of their social media feeds. Let them know, hey, maybe it's time for a change. Because, like I said, at 50, well, I really started when I was in my late 40s. But now that I'm 50, I'm looking like, wait a minute. Oh, man, how could I? I try not to beat myself up, because if you start beating yourself up about what you haven't done or what you need to do, you'll lose focus and your attention span will drop off, and then you won't do it. So I try not to beat myself up. And for those that want to share this podcast for the ladies, try not to beat that man up so bad, but just give him a little subtle hint, a little nudge in that direction. Changing his life. Hey, we're still here. Folks still want us around. Like I said, if you think they don't want you around, be gone and watch them. Well, you won't be able to watch them, but trust me, you're missed. You will be missed, and you are needed. Just are. All right, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to skedaddle. As always, I want to thank you all for lending me your ears this morning. Like I said, get in that comment section, hit that, let me know what you guys think. Hit that like and subscribe button along with that bell icon. Also, man, thank you once again for listening to This Is Just a Fault with Stephen Cornegay. Amen.